Hey, I'm Tyler.
And I'm Katie.
You're listening to Not-Stalgia, the podcast where you learn things, and learning is half the battle.
What?
Kate, what do you know about?
Yo, Joe! He'll fight for freedom wherever there's trouble. G.I. Joe is there. G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe is there. It's G.I. Joe against Cobra the enemy, fighting to save the day. He never gives up. He's always there, fighting for freedom over land and air. G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe is there.
G.I. Joe is the code name for America's daring, highly trained Special Mission Force. Its purpose, to defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world.
He never gives up, he'll stay till the fight's won. G.I. Joe will dare. G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe, a real American hero.
I know that it's a beefy toy for young men. That's really all I know. I know it's a toy, but it's also a show, I'm assuming, because I don't see any toys for me here to play with or snacks for me to eat.
We're not rich. We could not get our hands on some of these G.I. Joes. The ones that my dad talks about, how he had the original ones and then just became 12. And then it's I'm not a baby anymore, and threw them away, but they're worth hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Threw them directly into a garbage landfill.
Idiot.
Which I'm assuming were just very prevalent in the 70s, just throw them into the landfill. I guess the 60s for your dad.
He turned 12 right around the end of the 60s, beginning of the 70s. Can't say too much.
I'm assuming there was just an open garbage pit.
My dad would
every couple blocks.
Yeah, definitely. He would be paranoid for us to reveal his exact age because he would think someone's going to listen to this and somehow steal his identity.
Yep.
Well, Kate, in 1963, then 30-year-old entertainment licensing agent Stanley Weston invented the concept of the G.I. Joe toy and action figures in general.
So it's just a doll.
It's a doll for boys.
But they call it an action figure.
Because boys would not play with a doll, of course, so they just changed the name.
Why didn't they call it, Beefy Doll?
So his idea was to take basically a 12-inch doll, Barbie-sized, but he wanted to market it towards boys. So to butch up the concept of a doll, they made it a little more posable. They put more joints on it and things.
So that you could show them, waterboarding someone.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
They dressed them in military uniforms, and, of course, they called them action figures.
It's really hard for Barbies to waterboard someone because they really don't have posable arms.
Arms are just stiff the whole time.
Yeah.
They can clothesline somebody. So Weston sells his concept to Hasbro for $100,1963, which would be about $1 million, a little less than $1 million, 2022 dollars.
Seems about fair.
Hasbro, by the way, just as a little mini side note, that's shortened from Hassenfeld Brothers, who were the three brothers who started the company in 1923. They were originally Hasbro. They were originally selling pencils and school supplies, and then they expanded into toys with the Mr. Potato Head in the 1950s. So, in 1964, they purchased the concept of G.I. Joe from Stanley Weston. They created a lineup of 4 figures: an army man, a sailor, a marine, and a pilot.
It's the Village People.
The toy line was called G.I. Joe, America's Movable Fighting Men.
Are they all named Joe?
That's a good question. I actually don't know.
Or is it Joe, Marcus, Stevie, and Rolf?
In the research, they originally had names, the prototypes. It was Rocky. They all had masculine names.
You know this guy looks like Rolf. Look at him.
The sailor?
Yeah.
But there they all are. I believe they're all just G.I. Joe. I don't think the specific guys have names. So they made 4 in 1964. There they were. They were a smash hit, so they quickly just started pumping out more, including, this is an integrated military, Kate. There's a black one in 1965. So G.I. Joe, progressive?
No, it's just saying, yes, black people can go step on improvised mines as well.
And will want to buy a toy.
And we're going to send them to the most dangerous parts of Vietnam.
Well, Kate, speaking of Vietnam, G.I. Joe's cruising along 1964 through about 1970. Big hit. Kids love them. Dads want to buy them for their sons, etc., etc. However, by 1970, due to the ongoing Vietnam War, America's attitude of patriotism towards the armed forces had totally soured.
Sure.
And Hasbro was like, oh no, we are going to not be able to sell. Who's going to buy a G.I. Joe? So they pivoted away. I don't know why, but they kept the name G.I. Joe, even though that is obviously a military name, but I guess they needed the brand recognition. But their new line was called the G.I. Joe Adventure Team. And so these guys are just going around exploring and fighting natural disasters instead of fighting in a war.
That sounds much nicer. Are
It
they
does.
still beefy?
They are. It's the same. They look almost identical. but now there's like an astronaut, an ocean explorer, a land explorer, and so on. They introduced a lot of new features here. The original toys were just posable army men who, like, you could buy new costumes and vehicles for, but they're just army men. They don't really do anything. The new toys in the adventure line have pull string on some of them that speak and say things like, "This is a very important mission," things like that. There's lifelike hair and beards instead of hard molded hair and beards. There are eyes that could look around if you pushed a lever in the back of their head.
No, thank you.
There is a thing they're calling Kung Fu Grip, because this is also during the Kung Fu craze that swept the nation, where basically the hands were a little softer now, and you could pose them and like grab stuff.
You can make them like
chop each other, but really it's so they could like pick up an accessory. You could like literally you could mold it around something and it would kind of hold the shape and you could pick it up. Then, for whatever reason, in their infinite wisdom, in the later part of the 70s, Hasbro went totally nuts and added 2 super powered characters to the lineup. So they go from realistic army men to adventure team to now we have a Mike Power, the Atomic Man, because they tried to license the $6 million man, whose name is Steve Austin, the $6 million man, the Bionic Man, and they couldn't get him, so they just made up their own. And then they also created Bullet Man, the human bullet, who looks like this.
Oh my god.
He's supposed to be launched out of a big,
He's completely featureless. He has a helmet that covers all of his facial features. And then he's got kind of like a monokini situation. He's got like a rash guard on, but then little shorties. And it's like a high cut short. It's
yeah, you could see his entire leg from the top of his knee-high boot, go-go boot, to the bottom of his short, which is at the top of his thigh.
You get the whole hip dip that he's got. There's miraculous.
Mike Power, the Atomic Man.
What does he do?
Kind of looks like a man.
Yeah, he's just a regular old dude.
He's like got metal under his bones.
Yeah, but
theoretically.
Where's his little shorties?
He's fully clothed. By the end of the 70s, now they're introducing alien villains for them to fight. They've got 2 super powered guys. By the end of the 70s, G.I. Joes have transformed from realistic military stuff to kind of this fantastical series of things. Okay, but then, from 1976 to 1982, we had the Dark Ages where there were no new G.I. Joe toys.
Wow. And
after this, in 1982, Hasbro relaunches the series in a big way with their new series called G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero. But these toys, Kate, are not 12 inches tall. They're 3 3/4 inches tall.
Oh, they're mini.
They're tiny.
Are they like their sons?
No, these are just the new version of the toys. I imagine because, one, it's much cheaper to make. You could stack 3 or 4 of these on top of each other to get an original figure, so the amount of plastic is less, and they're probably selling them for almost as much, I would guess. So they're making more profit. But also, around this time, the Star Wars toys were this size, and they were extremely popular, so they were trying to get on that bandwagon.
Makes sense.
Allegedly, the story goes, this could be apocryphal, who knows, that when Hasbro was beginning this planning phase of this relaunch, the CEO of Hasbro and the CEO of Marvel Comics were peeing next to each other at the urinals in the bathroom at a charity event.
Did they at least leave one in between?
I don't know. And they get to talking, and they're like, "Oh, I'm the CEO of Hasbro. Oh, I'm the CEO of Marvel."
How long is the pee?
And the Marvel guy pitches to them. He goes, "Hey, if you're going to relaunch G.I. Joe, we could team up with you and we could produce promotional material for the line. A comic, maybe a cartoon. Now, you and I just about a month ago did Transformers. Same idea. This was first. This is where they did it. It was successful on G.I. Joe, and then Transformers obviously does the whole thing again a few years later. So, Marvel created a comic book series featuring the new characters in the G.I. Joe line. They do have names, you'll see in the show. They also created a series of TV commercials advertising the comic, and therefore, by extension, the toys. And the commercials were kind of popular enough that Marvel and Hasbro decided to make a 5-part mini-series featuring the characters in 1983. Then, a year later, they do another 5-part mini-series in 84. And then in 1985, they were both such a success, the 2 miniseries, that they launch a fully fledged TV show. The 2 miniseries act as the first 10 episodes, and then they made a bunch more, to the point where by the time they finished 2 seasons of this show, they had 95 episodes. They also made an animated movie. It was going to be theatrical, but then the Transformers movie and the My Little Pony movie didn't live up to expectations, box office-wise, so they shelved it for a little bit and then released it as, you guessed it, a 5-part miniseries on TV. And the show is a transparent ad for the toys, obviously. So much so that when they introduce new toys, they quickly disregard characters that you've grown to love on this show and replace them essentially with new characters who are the new toys. And it is a military force of some sort. So there's new recruits, there's new commanders.
Fresh, young,
beefy, as you would say. Yeah. And like they would incorporate vehicles they were selling. It's just like a lot of these type of shows. That's what they're doing. As we learned last time on the Transformers episode, thanks to Ronald Reagan. We are going to watch Season 1, Episode 12, The Funhouse. Oh, and I didn't even mention what the premise is, Kate. The premise of this show is that the G.I. Joes, which I can't figure out if they are some new branch of the military, how they're involved with the American government, but they are always in battle with Cobra, which is some sort of evil paramilitary organization.
The way that you get health insurance when you switch jobs.
It is now. And
Very
I know
expensive.
it feels like in the 1980s, the American military would send a special force to fight against Cobra. Maybe they should fight against it to bring the prices down.
Maybe.
But I think Ronald Reagan's America would fight against it so there wouldn't even be an option for people to get insurance when they're unemployed.
So I'm just confused.
You're going to learn. I am too. Okay, I've never seen this show
Are the
once.
G.I. Joes are they like what is that called when you're like the CIA, like a gray force? What is that thing?
I don't know. I don't know what word you're looking for.
I don't know.
I guess
they do like regime change.
I really don't know A, what they are, or B, if we're going to learn much more than we already know.
It seems murky.
I don't know if the average citizen knows and celebrates a G.I. Joe in this universe. Let's watch and find out. And one last thing before we watch. There was a continuation, 44 more episodes made in 1989 by Deke.
Oh, God, I hate Deke so much.
They're awful. And they had no involvement, this version, with the original writers and studio. I don't know how that happened. I don't know why that happened, but there are 44 additional episodes. We're going to watch one from the original run, though. The first season, 12th episode, The Funhouse.
What?
Yes, welcome to my funhouse.
Stuff it, snake face.
Despite your rudeness, I offer you a sporting chance. 3 doors, 3 choices. 2 of them lead to dead ends.
What about the third one?
It leads you to me.
Then all the doors are losers.
You are beginning to try my patience.
So there's this kind of peppy G.I. Joe and Cobra is the enemy. There's a lot of exposition happening here. It's just beefy boys throwing around other beefy boys.
Oh, and then they're fighting in what look like spaceships.
Star, yeah. I'm just confused. And then there's a lady. It's called a special mission force.
There we go.
They're the people they send in to do regime change, I think. They're America is not in the business of regime change.
And Cobra is an international terrorist force set on world domination.
They're all fist pumping.
Yeah, on the American flag.
This is a lot for me. I like that guy's crop top. Oh my God, look at his little crop top that he's got. Oh, he's become transparent somehow. Just punched that guard to death.
Oh, I forgot to mention, even though this was the Anything Goes 80s, there were still some rules on TV, and they couldn't show any deaths on screen or people being shot, so they all have laser guns.
So this Cobra operative can turn transparent for some reason, but also looks like a 90s wrestler. Look at him.
He does have some great face.
And he's got a crop top. He sprayed him with some kind of sleep spray, which I desperately want. One thing that really confuses me about media from this time is that the villains would always just call in and be like, "Here's our plan. Here's what we're gonna do." Who's this one GI woman? I'm here for it, but so
are the Joes authorized to operate in South America?
The Joes are authorized to do whatever they want. They are a paramilitary force. So they do a little cheer every time. They're like, "Go Joe." I like the addition of these women. I'm a little confused about it. There's also the pilot. I don't know who he is, but his voice is like, "I'll trace the signal. It's coming from South America." Who are you, sir?
Cobra's got a woman, too, a high-ranking lady. Yeah. She's like, "Can you Joes please put the toilet seat down?"
They've somehow found this massive pyramid evil temple, and they are just lighting up these
shooting
children,
huge missiles
civilians.
At this temple. They're screaming, "Yo, Joe," while they shoot lasers at each other.
They just blew up that tank. They just cheer for themselves every time, and I guess it's kind of positive.
Yeah, they're using positive self-talk when they scream "Go Joe" while shooting lasers.
Oh my God! He just threw his gun.
Yeah, look at that. He knocked 2 guys over with his gun by chucking it like a boomerang.
I do like that the woman is clothed and quite beefy. Her clothing seems functional and seems to have a lot of pockets. This animation is incredibly low quality also. All their legs don't line up right. What's his name appeared and was like, "Welcome to my fun house."
No, he said,
"Welcome to my fun house."
So this is vaguely Saw-esque, right?
Yeah,
he's like, "You have 3 choices, 3 doors." Two of them lead to a dead ends. You like my impression?
Yeah, you could be an international terrorist cell leader.
Look at me.
There, now you know all their names.
Dusty, Bazooka,
Alpine, Lady J.
Oh my god, so the balloons are exploding and it's full of poison that's made him hallucinate. So now we're on this horrific trip where this man's arms and legs have turned to snakes.
A lot of punching people in the face in this.
Yeah.
They couldn't use bullets, but you can punch people in the face.
So here's my question. If you're in an evil location and they're like, hey, get on this creepy cart, would you get on the creepy cart? No. So the villain has gone through the trouble to create an entire roller coaster inside this evil temple. So they also created like a massive bowling alley, and we knocked out Schwartzy. What's his name? Why does this man have an echo?
He seems super powered, right? The one bad guy we saw at the beginning who can go transparent.
Do they have like an extra paramilitary force? There's like these leaders, and then they got the extra Joes.
There's just it's a lot of Joes. Good shooting for a lady.
Oh no, Lady J was chopped. Oh my god.
It's a robot.
The leader of the G.I. Joes just chopped a robot's head off with his hand.
Karate chopped its head right off.
Oh my god, Lady J died. Or he doesn't know how to take a pulse. Unclear.
No one ever taught me. Zartan, that's the bad guy we've been talking about.
Yeah, how are they recruited into the Joes? Alright, so they've initiated the self-destruct sequence, which we should have encountered more in our adult lives. A lot of things self-destructed in our childhood, I feel like. You know?
Yeah, the only thing that self-destructs in my life is me.
Who's that? Is that a child? What is that, like an exploding javelin that she just threw? That's amazing. Oh, he's fine. No consequences for anyone. The head of Cobra's at their headquarters and is like, nothing can stop us now. And then they just lit it up with missiles. They really cheer for themselves a lot. I wish I had like a little catchphrase that I could cheer for myself every minute of every day.
What's stopping you?
Oh, look at that little tiny truck. The Joes have every vehicle imaginable.
Yeah, it's like a rich kid buying all the G.I. Joe toys.
Who is that man?
Oh, the guy with the cowboy hat? I think we saw him at the beginning at some point.
Did we?
There are a lot of characters.
There's too many characters.
So, does someone here want to take me for a stroll on a moonlit beach?
Sure. Hey, please excuse my friend here. I'll take you. You do, and you'll be scrubbing bathrooms for a week. On second thought, why don't you take a bazooka?
No way.
You sure know how to keep a girl single.
That's right. She sees right through me.
Alright, so there was a very confusing moment right at the end where, what's her name?
Lady J.
Lady J was like, hey, anybody want to go for a stroll on a moonlit beach? Like, she's thirsty. It's not her fault. And the guys are like, oh, yeah, I'll do it. And then Big Flinty is like, no way, absolutely not. But does not offer to take her himself. And she's like, you sure know how to keep a girl single.
That one, unfortunately, did not have one of these at the end, but a lot of them have PSAs at the end. Let's check one out.
You know I love a PSA, though.
I know.
I live for a PSA.
Kind of sad that one didn't have one. Didn't realize.
What were they going to say? Like, don't blow up a temple?
Hey, Joey, watch this! Davey, come back! The ice get break! You're breaking my heart! Ah! Help me!
Hold it! Don't go on the ice! You'll only add more weight!
Snow job!
Find something that'll reach.
This branch ought to work.
Remember, frozen ponds and rivers may not be totally frozen.
We could be skating on thin ice. Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe!
The kids are playing, they throw a ball through the window, and they're like, we'll say it was Billy who did it. And then Flint rolls up in a Humvee and is like, don't you dare! You're gonna be more in trouble if you lie!
Here's another one.
Oh no, here's some stranger danger. Wild Bill just stopped an abduction. They say, like, oh, a stranger might abduct you. Do they have a PSA about how it's much more likely to be your family? All right, now he's like, I just love that he appears out of nowhere to admonish kids, like, hey, is yelling at Billy going to help anything?
Don't yell at your soccer goalie.
So they say, now I know, and knowing is half the battle. But I'm confused about that PSA because it wasn't, don't play in an abandoned construction site. It was like, use your head and use the plank to go over that big chasm.
It was a little confusing.
They really run the gamut. It's like, quit yelling at your friends, but also don't cross railroad tracks when
don't
the
race
warning
the train.
is
I
flashing.
remember my mom teaching me not to race the train, yeah. Oh no, this kid's on fire.
He just showed up and tackled the kid in a blanket. It was like, do not run!
They gently rolled him around on the ground once he was in
like
the blanket.
Like a burrito. It was amazing. Gung-Ho just showed up and was like, hey, stop being so sexist.
Yeah. He's like, girls can skateboard too. So knowing is half the battle. What's the other half?
It's maybe doing something about it. We're not clear.
That makes sense. So relatable. This one's about water skiing. Why is this G.I. Joe right outside the bathroom window of this house
in the bathroom
to tell them not to go in the medicine cabinet?
Don't take your parents' medicine.
Look, he's the medic, I guess. Based on what we've watched today, the G.I. Joes are always either engaged in a life or death battle with Cobra operatives or wandering around America to catch and, like you said, admonish children.
This is just how to stop a bloody nose.
Yeah.
I haven't had a nosebleed in years. Remember, did you used to get nosebleeds?
I never have had a nosebleed.
I used to have bloody nose.
You get them a lot?
No, not a lot. Oh my god, he's gonna touch the dog.
Oh,
no.
He touched a strange dog and it's growling at him.
This is my favorite one where the kid's like, I ran away from home. My parents are mean. And then a sailor appeared in the woods with a parrot on his shoulder and was like, hey, talk to your parents.
That's Shipwreck.
There's too many characters here to keep straight.
That's awesome. Now you know, and knowing's half the battle. So what's your thought on G.I. Joe, a real American hero?
I liked the PSAs more than I liked the episode.
Yeah, they were really fun. I could watch more of these for real.
Definitely.
Thank goodness for these YouTubers who put them together.
Yeah.
These compilations of them. What'd you think of the show?
The show kind of sucked.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The animation, absolute crap.
The animation was pretty bad.
687 characters, all with names like Flint and Stinky. Right? The little cheer that they do. Go Joes! So confusing. Why are they cheering themselves? What do they want?
This is the first time in almost 300 episodes where all the things you're describing you didn't like about it, I liked about it.
Oh my god.
These all sound like positives to me.
For me, it was not attention grabbing. Like,
No.
I don't know. It was long commercial for the zip copter or whatever they were trying to sell.
Oh, definitely.
I did like that one guy's crop top though.
Yeah.
I highly
the bad guy,
recommend the crop top.
what was his name?
Zoltan.
I don't know. I really enjoyed this as, again, someone who didn't grow up in this era and missed out on this show. I always assumed it was going to be dumb and not worth my time. It is dumb, but it's definitely worth my time. That was fun. This and Transformers have both impressed me so far. If you've never seen G.I. Joe, I recommend you watch it, unless you have the same taste as Katie, in which case you probably don't listen to this podcast, because every episode you'd be like, what is that? I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Maybe they're just listening to me, getting me to roast it.
Could be.
They think I'm cute.
Could be. Thanks for listening. I enjoyed that, our little trip to the 80s there. We're going to keep this up. We'll do some 80s shows in the future. Thundercats. Do you know Thundercats?
No.
You know anything about it?
No.
Ooh. All right.
They're like cat Transformers?
In a way. Not really, though. All right. Thanks for listening. Subscribe to the podcast, rate and review it. Find us on social media. Just look for Not-Stalgia.
Not-Stalgia!
Tell us what 80s shows you loved that we can watch. Please. Brave Star. Remember that?
That was like a cowboy alien. It was like Cowboy Bebop.
Wow.
I know what that is.
Is that music from Cowboy Bebop? Yeah. Can you do that again? What does it sound like?
Huh. Take a look at the new G.I. Joe Tomahawk.
Look, Cobra's attacking the All-Striker. Tomahawk to the rescue.
Tomahawk holds 8 Joes and it's loaded for battle.
Yo, Joe!
Tomahawk's gonna chase some Cobra. Tomahawk is on the go. Tomahawk's gonna chase some Cobra and rescue G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe!
Live the adventure of G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe Tomahawk. Other Joe and Cobra figures sold separately.
Yo, Joe!